Hey everyone. Okay, so I was just sitting here thinking I'm fixing to run into the grocery store and wanted to pop on real quick. Just got done at the chiropractor and things. And I know I've posted things about, you got to find your inner strength. You have to dig deep and find that inner strength. But, you may be wondering, how do you do that? And, I know a lot of people looking, I don't know who's on here. Hello, whoever's on here. Facebook's not telling me who you are. But we all have some sort of demons we're fighting in our mind or whatever it is, whether it's depression, bipolar, relationship problems, financial problems, health problems, whatever. We all kind of have demons we're fighting. And, you have to, and a lot of people, especially if it's something you haven't dealt with, and it's like, how do I find the inner strength to just get through the day? Okay, so I'm not perfect. I have inner demons, but I'm going to tell you, I've suffered from depression. I was diagnosed with bipolar, PTSD. Oh, I think that was it. There might be one more in there. But, and people looking on the outside, looking in, may say, oh, she doesn't have any problems. She doesn't seem depressed. But of course, you only see like the Facebook person here. You don't see everyday life. But I have learned to recognize when I feel it coming on, right? Like right now. I can feel the depression kicking in because there's some extra stress in my life with, financial stuff that, I had mentioned before, just other things. And it just seems like every time I turn around, something else is happening, right? So there's a lot of stress going on. So I can feel that depression trying to creep in. And here's how you fight the demons, the inner demons. And you have to learn to listen to your body. That's the first thing you got to do. And that's not going to happen overnight. Some people have to have therapy, journaling, like when, a lot of people journal, and that way you can see a pattern. There's generally a pattern in the way things happen. They don't just happen out of the blue. Some people, they're great, and then depression hits. It's not like it's an everyday, all day thing for some people. But there's generally some kind of pattern that leads up to it. And we might think it just comes out of the blue, but it doesn't. But what you can do to start, kind of reeling those demons in and controlling them instead of them controlling you is to start recognizing it. Try and be more in tune, like when you can kind of feel it coming on, right? Whether that's by journaling or tell somebody that's in your life that's looking in on the outside that can see. Most people can see when things are happening way before you. Have them say, look, I really need you to support me in this. If you see me going backwards, if you see me starting to let the depression kick in, or you see me wanting to give in to the binge eating, the emotional eating, or the whatever, have them as an accountability person to kick you in the butt basically and say, hey, this is happening. This is what I see. I just want you to let you know. Because like with Kim, I can see things going on with her way before she does. And I recognize when she has anniversary dates or certain things that time of year or whatever, when things tend to happen. And she has a pattern. And she didn't recognize that for years. And, it's a pattern. It was always like the same thing. And it's the same thing with me. I have patterns as well. I haven't quite figured out what this one is right now, because normally I don't get like depressed this time of year. So I'm going to assume it's the added stress. But what you can do, start trying to be in tune with yourself. If you can start kind of mindfully knowing when you feel it coming on, then you can try and do something about it. Some people have they're worse off than others. They're on medication and things like that. And it may not you may not be able to reel it all the way in and keep it from happening, but you can be mindful and try and do things try and do relaxation techniques or more journaling or, just talk to somebody, or things like that. But that's how you start finding that inner strength, is to start being more in tune with yourself, with your mind, with your moods. And then you can slowly do things to change it. Whether, like I said, it's relaxation techniques or it's talking to somebody, whether it's a friend or a therapist. And there's no shame in talking to a therapist. If things are super bad, there are some people that are so bad off, they don't realize they may need to talk to a doctor and be put on medication. I'm not saying everybody needs medication. I really think they overprescribe it for some things, but some people do need it. Because like Kim, if she has some deep, dark demons everywhere, I'm not going to go into that, but she has been in a dark place for a long time, like years ago. And they finally got her on the right medications. She would not be able to function in life without medications. So, some people need that. But there are things that you can help to cope with your demons. But, that's if you're having relationship problems or financial problems, we tend to let it stress us out in all areas. And I know it's hard not to do, but if we can realize, okay, I'm financially, stressed out here, or my job is stressing me out. If we can recognize that's the stressor, then we can maybe kind of disconnect that part from the rest of our life and try and recognize, okay, this has, my spouse has nothing to do with my job, so I'm not going to take it out on my spouse today, kind of thing. And I know it's hard, but if you start being mindful, and I know I'm starting to ramble now, so I'm going to cut this short. But my tip is basically start being mindful. Try and be mindful of your moods. If you feel them coming on, try and figure out why or what is causing those moods. It's just like with emotional eating. A lot of times we just do it whether we realize we've had a super stressful week at work, or our family member drama or family drama or something has been kicked into high gear, and we just automatically go to the food to emotional eat. But if we can connect and disconnect, that's when changes can start happening. And like I said, they're not going to happen overnight. It takes small changes, but it starts with here and being mindful. So anyway, that's my real talk today, because I can kind of feel mine coming on. So I've got to kick it into high gear and be mindful and make sure I don't let it take over. I can still be depressed. I can still be down. I just cannot let it take over my life and consume me. Because I will, if I do, I'll stay in bed for 3 freaking days. Just like today. And why I know it was coming on today, I sat in between running to appointments. I sat at my desk today trying to get some, work done. I got nothing done because I could not focus, and I'm I didn't know what to do. And then I was kind of feeling that, I don't know, that down kind of feeling, kind of you want to cry, but you don't want to cry kind of thing. So that's how I can tell it's coming on. So anyway, y'all have a great rest of the Wednesday, and just be mindful. Try and be mindful, and check you later.